Hiya loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and here we are, the final video of my Mental Health Awareness Week series. Hooray, we did it! Excuse me. Me and Stitch are ready for a good old chin wag. I've got a fancy bottle with some water in it, just in case I start coughing again. And yeah, we're going to have a very honest chat about mental health, specifically about my mental health. So grab yourself a cuppa because we're going to be here for a short while, and yeah, hopefully by the end of this video you'll be enlightened to what it's like living with depression and anxiety amongst other strands of mental health illness. So I do suffer with depression and anxiety. That is a known fact. I'm very open about that and honest on social media. A lot of the people that I meet, whether it's through work or whatever, I'm very vocal about it. A level of trust has to be established first, but I am very open about it because I think it's something that can affect me on a day-to-day basis, 100%. In order for me to deal with it in the best way that I possibly can, I need to be honest and, let people know that I may be working with or that I'm close to. I've always shown signs of different kinds of mental health issues in the past when I think of like my behaviour, the things that I've done throughout the years. There's always been an element of OCD there. There's always been an element of perfectionism, definitely. Still kind of there now as well, I must be honest, but I think I've reasoned with myself a lot about that. And actually, nobody and nothing is perfect. It's that thing of we can only try to be the best that we can be. And I think when I got to college age, so like 16 to 18, it was then that I started to notice things that people would say to me or how I would be in return. And that was when I started to notice the sort of depressed moods a lot more. I don't know about the anxiety as much, but I think the depression was starting to really show at that point. And I think as well, when I reached college, I became a lot more confident in myself. I started to understand what I was capable of as an artist. And so it was quite obvious the shift between my confident days and my low days. And I think that was something that then really showed itself even more as I got older and progressed onto drama school. So when I was about 19, I started taking the contraceptive pill, and about 9 months into taking it, I had to go to the doctors and explain basically how I'd been feeling. I'd been having a lot of very negative thoughts, amongst feeling not very good things at all, about me and about my life and about it not being worthy of existing. And that was when I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. They put me on antidepressants. I then started receiving counselling through the NHS. There was such a long waiting list for getting a counsellor, and there still is. So my advice now to anyone that does need a form of counselling is perhaps look at local options within your community. You may be able to get counselling through them quicker than if you were to get a referral through your GP, because self-referral now is an option, which is amazing. But started having counselling, and then after my I think it was about 6 weeks of counselling or 8 weeks that I had in Liverpool, I then had more counselling, and that was through the student support of LIPA, which was the drama school that I went to. I'll be honest, during that time, so probably during my second year at LIPA, that was when I really experienced the depths of depression and anxiety. Those feelings of not being worthy, not being good enough, wanting to completely fade away and simply not exist anymore. It was horrible. It's very, very isolating. When you reach that lowest point, you feel like you're the only person you've got. So it's you, yourself, no, me, myself and I. It's you, yourself and you, basically. It's it's very, very isolating. And I think for anyone that has ever experienced that severity of depression, specifically, know that you will get through it. As hard as it may be to believe, you will get through it. I knew that I needed to seek help, most definitely, because it had started getting way out of my control, and to the point where I wasn't reacting to people in a rational way, and the relationships that I had with friends, with close loved ones, with anybody, it was really put under strain because I couldn't communicate in the way that I wanted to, and I didn't know what really was happening in my brain and in my body. I think as well, because I was on the contraceptive pill and I was on an antidepressant, you've got two lots of hormones there that aren't supposed to be in your body, that are essentially clashing against each other. That really, really sent my mind into like an utter spiral, a downward spiral. But throughout my time at LIPA, I did get much better. I recognised perhaps the negativity that was coming from certain relationships that I had, and I put an end to those. And unfortunately, I did lose relationships as a result of what had happened and the circumstances that I went through. Still to this day, it devastates me, absolutely devastates me, because if I could potentially go back and just have a chat with those people that I'm no longer in touch with as frequently, I'd be completely upfront and tell them like how I was feeling. But I have to give myself some credit in that I was honest about the things I needed to be honest about with the people I thought I needed to be honest with. So that was a really big step forward. One bit of advice that I would give to anybody that suffers from any kind of mental illness, not just depression: speak up, talk about it. A problem shared is a problem halved. I truly believe that. So since leaving LIPA, I came off antidepressants gradually, always gradually, never come off them all at once. It was really strange actually, because I realised that I didn't rely on them anymore. I know a few people actually that have reached that point where they've gone, actually I'm not relying on these tablets anymore to make me feel calmer or better or whatever. And it was at that point that I went to the doctors and said, you know, this is how I'm feeling. I feel more in control. I feel like I know my own mind. I recognise the thoughts that are coming from anxiety and depression and elsewhere, and I think because I was able to differentiate them and sort of keep control of them, that was when I decided to come off. Lowered my dosage of antidepressants, felt okay. I was like, yeah, this is great, this is going really well. As I gradually came off them completely, I crashed majorly. It's just one of those things. Anybody that takes any form of tablet or antidepressant is going to have remnants of that tablet and the hormones, the ingredients in their body for a while after you stop taking them. So you do have to let your body sort of drain it out of your system. It does take a while, but the difference in how I felt after it had come out of my system was incredible. I suddenly felt alive, really alive. Like I was feeling all of these things, and very vividly, like nothing was numbed. And in many ways, antidepressants do numb anything that you experience, any feelings that you feel. Now obviously I'm not saying that they're bad at all, because if you need to take them, you need to take them, and that's that. But I think since that point, I have never, ever, to this day, gone back to taking antidepressants, no matter how bad a state I've been in, because I truly believe that if I can get through what I got through when I was in training, I can get through anything. I truly believe that. As I've gotten older as well, I've had more experience with bad mental health, I understand a lot more about what my triggers are, what sets me off into a downward spiral, how my anxiety works, how my depression works, what I can do to help myself. Creativity often takes me out of any sort of negative, severely negative mood that I'm in. But I think one thing that I've really learned throughout the last probably 5 to 6 years is I now know when my anxiety is talking. I now know when my depression is talking. And what I do if I'm communicating that to somebody else is I tell them, I say, this is what I'm thinking right now, but you need to understand that it's not personal and it's coming from a place of anxiety or depression. That level of communication is really, really important with the people that you class as allies, the people that you know you can speak to about anything. It's really important that you establish what part of your brain is talking, because the last thing you want to do is get into an like an argument or something. But yeah, it's difficult, and I think recently as well I've experienced really severe lows again. I mean, it's ebbs and flows. It's all the time. Like certain days are going to be much harder than other days, and it can depend on your circumstance, on what you've got coming up. Have you got something on your mind that's making you feel worried or anxious? My anxiety has kind of taken over my depression since leaving Lipper, most definitely. My God, it's unbearable some days. You always just have to find those things that you know you can turn to make you feel safe. If you can, trying not to rely on anybody but yourself to get yourself into a safe space or a safe mindset or a calm mindset is one of the best things you will ever do. Becoming resilient, becoming self-sufficient has allowed me to gain so much strength in my mind, in my body, in every possible way. It's just practice, basically. I think that's the only way I can put it. If you ever find yourself experiencing the lowest low or the peak of anxiety, get yourself an action plan. Know what you can do. I need to get myself to a safe space. I need to get some water to calm myself down. I need a rescue remedy, calm and reassure spray. I need to do some deep breathing. Whatever it is, have that action plan ready and just tell yourself it's okay, this is going to pass. Because it never lasts. It never ever lasts. I think the final thing that I want to say is that just be open and honest with the people that you can be open and honest with, because the sooner you talk about it, the sooner you can recognise what help you need if you need help. Definitely. Thank you so much for listening to me and just supporting this series of videos and helping to beat the stigma. It's important that people have conversations like this about, depression, anxiety, whatever mental illness you have, about suicidal thoughts, about wanting to act on them, everything. It's important that we normalise these conversations because it is normal. People experience it every day, all the time, and we don't talk about it. And if we do, it's like, oh my God, this is awful. Actually, it's very human. It's very, very human. And the more we can accept and help and move forward, the better it's going to get. In the description below, I've put a list of websites, numbers, everything that you can imagine. Loads of resources there for anybody that is struggling or knows someone who is struggling. I understand how hard it can be to open up about these things, but the sooner that you do, the better. That's when your healing will begin. And just remember that healing is not linear, so you will have, bad days, but the good days hopefully will start to outweigh the bad days. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go chill now. I'm probably gonna go and have a gin and just enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you do as well. You're amazing. You watching this right now, you're amazing. and I hope you do all that you can every day to remind yourself of that, because you deserve it. Right, leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you thought of the whole series of videos. I'd love to know. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Until the next time, love you lots. Bye.